How a group of just 300 people armed with little more than faith and determination challenged an army thrice their size and changed the course of history by winning the battle. How was this battle won for those 300 people over 3 lakh? What was so special about this battle? Let us find out in today's video. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, Naseeha Studio. Today in this video, the story we will be talking about one of the first and greatest battles fought in the history of Islam, filled with so much of miraculous events and the courage of Muslims. The Gathering Storm. Under the relentless blaze of the Arabian sun, the harsh expanse around Medina lay as a vast sea of undulating sands and sparse vegetation, a stern testament to the austere life its inhabitants led. Amidst this desolate landscape, a new community was taking root, united not by tribal lineage, but by a faith that promised equality and justice under the banner of Islam. At its helm was Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, a leader who melded spiritual depth with astute pragmatism, guiding his followers through the intricacies of political and religious upheaval. In these early years, the fledgling Muslim community faced relentless persecution and existential threats from the Quraysh, the ruling tribe of Mecca, who viewed the new monotheistic religion as a direct challenge to their authority and the polytheistic traditions underpinning their lucrative control over the Kaaba. Economic sanctions and social ostracism had followed the Muslims from Mecca to Medina, threatening their survival and forcing Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to consider unorthodox strategies to sustain his community. Word reached Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, of a rich caravan returning from Syria, laden with goods and led by Abu Sufyan, a prominent Meccan merchant and a staunch opponent of Islam. The caravan represented not only a portion of Mecca's wealth, but also a strategic opportunity to assert the strength and resolve of the Muslim community. Capturing the caravan would deal a significant economic blow to the Quraysh while bolstering the resources of the Muslims. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, convened a council with his closest companions, men like Abu Bakr, Umar, and Ali, who were his relatives and earliest converts. They debated the risks of intercepting the caravan. The venture was fraught with danger. It could provoke a full-scale retaliation from Mecca. Yet, the potential rewards, a boost to their meager economy and a demonstration of their growing power. The Quraysh have throttled our trade, compelled them toward action. To the brink, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, addressed his council. This caravan is our chance to tip the balance, to show our oppressors that we will not be cowed by tyranny nor bound by their sanctions. What say you? His words stirred the assembly, and though apprehension shadowed the faces of many, the air was thick with resolve. "We stand with you, O Messenger of God," declared Abu Bakr, his voice firm with conviction. "If we are to build a future for Islam, we must act now with courage and faith." Plans were swiftly drawn. Scouts were dispatched to track the caravan's route, while Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, began rallying the men of Medina. The community's response was a mixture of fervent zeal and somber determination, as they prepared for what many perceived as their first real test of strength against the Quraysh. Meanwhile, unaware of the brewing storm, Abu Sufyan advanced towards Mecca, his caravan moving slowly through the arid landscapes, the hooves of his laden camels kicking up clouds of dust that rose and vanished like specters in the desert air. His mind was occupied with trade routes and profit margins, oblivious to the fact that his journey would soon ignite a pivotal confrontation in the annals of Islamic history. As the Muslims prepared for their daring raid, the winds of destiny began to shift, setting the stage for a conflict that would echo through the ages. Its reverberations felt far beyond the immediate horizon. The gathering storm was upon them, and the world watched, unaware that from these small beginnings, a great change was about to unfold: the call to arms. As the hot winds whispered across the desolate outskirts of Medina, the sense of impending conflict grew palpable among the inhabitants. The decision to intercept the Meccan caravan had been made, and it was now a matter of mobilizing and preparing for the confrontation that loomed ahead. In the heart of the city, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, stood as a beacon of resolve, calling upon his followers to gather for a cause that transcended their immediate survival. It was a fight for dignity and the right to exist as a community of believers. In the modest courtyard of the Prophet's mosque, men from across Medina assembled, their faces etched with lines of both determination and anxiety. They were not seasoned warriors, they were tradesmen, farmers, and shepherds, but their faith in Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the righteousness of their cause endowed them with a courage that belied their experience. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, addressed the gathering with a voice that resonated with the gravity of the moment. "This is not merely a raid or a skirmish over wealth," he declared. "It is a stand against oppression, a declaration that we will no longer suffer injustice from the Quraysh. Our fight is for the protection of our faith and our freedoms. Who among you will stand with me?" One by one, hands rose, not in haste, but with solemnity. Among the volunteers was Ali, the Prophet's cousin and loyal supporter, whose youthful energy contrasted with the seasoned calm of Abu Bakr and Umar, also present and ready to lend their support. Hamza, with his imposing presence, stood firm, his reputation as a formidable warrior providing reassurance to the less experienced men. The logistics of their mission were daunting. They had limited resources and weapons. Many of the men were armed with little more than sticks and the resolve in their hearts. Yet, the strategic mind of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, turned even these limitations into a plan. He organized his followers into small groups, assigning roles based on skill rather than status, emphasizing the importance of unity and brotherhood in the face of adversity. "Let each man look to his brother, for you are bound by faith stronger than blood," he instructed as they prepared to depart. The women of Medina, led by Khadijah, the Prophet's wife, gathered supplies, weaving extra cloaks and preparing provisions for the journey. Their efforts were silent but pivotal, anchoring the community's resolve with every stitch and every prayer whispered under their breath. As the final preparations were made, the Prophet received news that Abu Sufyan, wary of potential threats, had altered the caravan's route, taking a less predictable path. This intelligence did not deter the Muslims. Rather, it confirmed the necessity of their vigilance and adaptability. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, quickly adjusted their plans, choosing a route that would intersect with the caravan at a vulnerable point near the wells of Badr, a location known only to a few and revealed in strategic confidence. With the community's hopes and prayers echoing behind them, the men set out from Medina under a crescent moon, a symbol of their burgeoning faith and the precarious journey ahead. The caravan, rich with the goods of Syria and the arrogance of Mecca, continued its unwitting advance towards Badr, where the destiny of faith and its followers awaited, ready to be written in the sands of the Arabian desert. On the road to Badr, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his followers set out from Medina, their hearts set on intercepting the Meccan caravan at Badr. As they moved through the harsh desert landscape, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, walked among his men, encouraging them and strengthening their resolve with words of faith. Meanwhile, Abu Sufyan, leading the Meccan caravan, sensed the danger from the advancing Muslims. He quickly sent a messenger back to Mecca to call for reinforcements, emphasizing the threat to ensure a strong response from the Quraysh. As the Muslims approached Badr, the weather took a sudden turn. Rain began to fall, unusual for the desert. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, saw this as a divine sign, telling his followers that the rain was a blessing from Allah, purifying them and preparing them for the battle ahead. When they reached Badr, they found several wells. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, decided they should control these water sources. Having access to water would be crucial, and it might also force the Meccans into a disadvantageous position if they needed water during the battle. The night before the battle, as they camped near the wells, the atmosphere was tense but hopeful. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, spent much of the night in prayer, seeking guidance for the next day's confrontation. By dawn, everything was in place. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, reviewed their strategy with his men, stressing the importance of staying together and fighting as one. As the first light of day broke over the desert, they prepared to face their adversaries, ready to fight for their right to practice their faith in peace. The clash of wills. As the first light of dawn painted the sky with strokes of pale orange and pink, the Muslim forces gathered at Badr, poised for the confrontation that would define their fledgling community. They were few, not more than a few hundred against the larger Meccan force that approached with the rising sun. The air was tense with anticipation and the heavy burden of what was at stake, their right to exist as a community bound by faith. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, positioned his men strategically around the wells they had secured the previous night. He knew that controlling the water was crucial, not just for survival, but as a tactical advantage. His presence among the men was calming, his confidence in their cause and their victory infectious. Meanwhile, the Quraysh army, led by key figures like Abu Jahl, approached with confidence, underestimating the resolve of the Muslims. The Meccans were better equipped and more numerous, but they were motivated by pride and the desire to protect their economic interests, not by the unity of a shared spiritual purpose. As the two armies lined up for battle, traditional Arab warfare customs were upheld, and champions from both sides stepped forward to engage in single combat. It was a display of bravery and martial skill meant to boost morale and perhaps intimidate the opponent. Ali, the cousin of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was among the Muslim champions, facing off against some of the fiercest Quraysh warriors, and his victories lifted the spirits of the Muslim fighters. After these initial duels, the general battle commenced. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, gave the signal, and his followers charged with a zeal fueled by their faith and the justice of their cause. The fighting was fierce. The clashing of swords and the cries of warriors filled the air, punctuated by the sounds of the desert wind whipping across the battlefield. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, remained active throughout, providing guidance and encouragement, his words a steadying force. He reminded his men of the promises of Allah that they were fighting a just battle and that their perseverance would be rewarded. The Meccans, taken aback by the ferocity and discipline of the Muslim forces, began to falter. The turning point came when a handful of Muslim archers, positioned strategically by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, managed to disrupt the Meccan lines, creating confusion and fear among their ranks. This disarray allowed the Muslims to press their advantage, pushing the Meccans back step by step. The battle raged through the morning, and by midday, the outcome was becoming clear. The Muslims, initially viewed as underdogs, were gaining the upper hand. The loss of several Meccan leaders, including the formidable Abu Jahl, demoralized the Quraysh fighters and hastened their defeat. As the sun reached its zenith, the battlefield quieted, leaving behind the echoes of a clash that had shifted the balance of power in Arabia. The Muslims had not only defended their right to exist, but had also demonstrated the strength and viability of their community. The Battle of Badr would be remembered as a pivotal moment, a clash of wills where faith met arrogance and where a small band of unified believers overcame overwhelming odds to secure their place in history. The turning tide and the help of Allah through angels. As the battle at Badr continued, the Muslim fighters found themselves at a critical moment. They were outnumbered and facing a tough fight against the better-equipped Meccan forces. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, prayed deeply, asking Allah for help. He reminded Allah that if these believers were defeated, there would be no one left to worship him on earth. In response to his prayers, a miraculous event occurred. According to Islamic tradition, Allah sent down angels to assist the Muslim fighters. These angels, led by the Archangel Gabriel, joined the battlefield invisibly, supporting and strengthening the Muslims. The Quran mentions that Allah reassured the believers by sending thousands of angels in ranks to aid them. The arrival of these divine helpers had an immediate and powerful impact. The Muslim warriors, who might have been growing tired, suddenly felt stronger and fought with renewed energy and precision. This sudden change bewildered the Meccan forces, who began to feel a mysterious fear. Some reported seeing ghostly figures and felt as if divine forces were against them. This spiritual boost significantly shifted the dynamics on the battlefield. The Muslim archers, though few, shot their arrows with incredible accuracy, causing key Meccan leaders to fall, including Abu Jahl, a major blow to the Meccan morale. As the battle wore on, the Meccans started to retreat in disarray, overwhelmed by the fierce resistance and possibly the supernatural presence. This retreat soon turned into a full rout, with many Meccans fleeing the field, leaving behind their dead and wounded. The Muslims' victory at Badr was not just a military success, but also a profound confirmation of their faith. They believed that the win was a clear sign of Allah's favor and support, which strengthened their commitment to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and their cause. This event became a legendary example of divine intervention in Islamic history, celebrated as a moment when faith and heavenly support turned the tide of battle against overwhelming odds. The after effects of the battle. The dust settled on the plains of Badr, and the scene revealed a landscape marked by loss and victory. The Muslims, though victorious, were sobered by the cost of the conflict. They had faced a larger and better-equipped enemy, yet their unity and divine support had carried them through to an unlikely victory. As Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, walked through the battlefield, he paused to offer prayers for the fallen, both friends and foes. The battle had not just been a military engagement. It was a defining moment for the nascent Muslim community, proving their resilience and divine backing. The spoils of war were collected, a significant boon for the Muslims who had suffered economic hardship under the sanctions of Mecca. These resources were distributed according to the guidelines that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, set, emphasizing fairness and the needs of each fighter and their families. This act reinforced the principles of justice and community that were central to Islam. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, also took the time to counsel his followers on the responsibilities that came with victory. He stressed the importance of humility and gratitude towards Allah, reminding them that their success was not solely due to their efforts, but was also a gift from above. This guidance helped ground the community, keeping them focused on their spiritual path and the bigger picture of their mission. The news of the defeat at Badr shocked the Quraysh in Mecca. The loss of several of their leaders, including Abu Jahl, was a severe blow to their prestige and power. The impact of this defeat reverberated throughout Arabia, altering the perception of Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his followers. They were no longer seen as mere refugees from Mecca. They were now a formidable force with divine endorsement. This shift had significant implications. Tribes that had previously been neutral or opposed to the Muslims began to reconsider their positions. Some, seeing the power and growing influence of the Muslims, decided to ally with them or adopt a more neutral stance to avoid conflict. In Medina, the victory at Badr was met with celebrations, but Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, made sure these were tempered with reflections on the responsibilities that came with their new status. The community was strengthened, not just in numbers and resources, but in their faith and cohesion. As the Muslims navigated their victory, they also prepared for the inevitable repercussions. The Quraysh were unlikely to let this defeat go unavenged, signaling future conflicts. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his advisors began planning how to protect their community and leverage their new position in the complex tribal society of Arabia. The after-effects of Badr set the stage for further developments in the Islamic narrative, paving the way for more challenges and triumphs. It was a turning point that underscored the resilience and commitment of the Muslims to their faith, their leader, and their cause. The legacy of Badr. The victory at Badr was not merely a military triumph. It was a profound event that resonated through the sands of time, shaping the future of Islam and the Arab world. This battle, fought with seemingly insurmountable odds, became a symbol of faith, resilience, and divine intervention, solidifying the status of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his followers. Spiritual significance. For the Muslim community, Badr was more than a battlefield victory. It was a testament to the power of their faith and the support of Allah. The miraculous help of angels, as recounted in Islamic teachings, underscored a divine endorsement of their struggle. This event reinforced the belief among Muslims that when they are in the right, Allah will aid them, a conviction that boosted their confidence and commitment. Political impact. The outcome of Badr significantly altered the political landscape of Arabia. The defeat of the Quraysh, the leading tribe of Mecca, at the hands of what they considered a lesser group, shifted power dynamics. It demonstrated that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his followers were a formidable force, capable of challenging established powers. This victory garnered respect and attracted new followers and allies, increasing the influence of the Muslims across the region. Community cohesion. The shared experience of Badr strengthened the bonds within the Muslim community. It transformed a group of individuals from diverse backgrounds into a unified force with a common purpose. This unity was crucial as they faced future challenges and expeditions, fostering a sense of brotherhood and solidarity that became characteristic of the Muslim Ummah community. Moral and ethical lessons. Badr also served as a moral compass for future generations. The principles displayed by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, during the battle, consultation with his followers, treatment of the enemy, and the distribution of spoils, set ethical standards for conduct in war and leadership. These actions taught the importance of justice, mercy, and humility, values that continued to guide Muslim conduct in subsequent conflicts. Legacy of hope and resistance. The story of Badr has resonated throughout Islamic history as a source of inspiration during times of hardship and oppression. It has reminded Muslims that with faith and unity, small groups can overcome great challenges. The narrative of Badr has been evoked in literature, sermons, and daily prayers, serving as a perennial reminder of what can be achieved when people stand firm in their convictions. As the years passed, the legacy of Badr continued to influence not only military tactics and political strategies, but also personal faith and community ideals. It became a foundational moment in Islamic history, a point of reference for what it means to strive in the path of Allah. The lessons from Badr. of faith, courage, and resilience remain relevant, teaching new generations the importance of standing up against tyranny with conviction and unity. The Battle of Badr stands as a pivotal moment in Islamic history, symbolizing the triumph of faith and perseverance against overwhelming odds. It was not merely a conflict won by strategic acumen or numerical strength. It was a demonstration of divine support and the power of united belief. This historic victory provided the nascent Muslim community with a profound sense of purpose and legitimacy, propelling Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his followers from a marginalized group into a central force in Arabian politics. The legacy of Badr extends beyond its immediate military and political outcomes. It has imbued generations of Muslims with a sense of hope and the belief that right can prevail over might. The narratives of bravery, strategy, and divine intervention at Badr continue to inspire and teach lessons of moral and ethical conduct, the importance of unity, and the power of faith. As we reflect on the significance of Badr, it becomes clear that the battle was not just about winning territory or defeating foes. It was about establishing an identity and securing a future for a faith that was still in its formative years. The courage and wisdom displayed by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, during this critical juncture have left a lasting imprint on Islamic thought and practice, influencing how conflicts are approached and resolved according to Islamic principles. Today, the story of Badr resonates as a reminder of the resilience necessary to overcome challenges, both internal and external. It encourages believers to maintain their faith and unity in the face of adversity, reinforcing the idea that with steadfast belief and righteous action, even the smallest group can achieve great things. Badr is not merely a historical event, but a continuing source of spiritual strength and inspiration. It teaches us about the virtues of justice, the importance of strategic thinking, and the power of divine help when pursued with a pure intention. As such, the Battle of Badr remains a beacon of hope and a guidepost for those seeking to uphold their principles in a challenging world. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you enjoyed this video and found it interesting, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more content celebrating the Islamic heritage. Your support really helps spread these important stories and teachings. We hope that Allah brings peace, happiness, and success to you and your family.